Hello, everybody. Thank you for joining us. I'm Mariquita Solis, and today I'm joined with James Scott Britton, Harmonic Earth
Hello.
Healers, and we do have another Harmonic Earth Healer that is unable to join, and we will be introducing him on a live stream soon. So thanks for watching. If you're watching, please let us know where you're joining from, and we'll be taking questions. So let us know. And also give StreamYard permission to use your name in the description, it'll say. So thanks for joining us, everyone. And so at our Harmonic Earth Healers, our mission is really to connect you back to Mother Earth and in your innate sense of power, that power that's living in your soul and your heart of who you really are meant to be. So we honor you in this moment. And I'd like to start off with a little meditation, and I'd like to also just thank James for joining. Thank you, James, for joining us here.
You're very welcome.
All right, so I'd like to really just ground us in some quiet, peaceful energy. So if you feel like closing your eyes and just taking some deep breaths, breathing deep down into your hips, down into your legs, down into your feet, grounding with Mother Earth and all of her wisdom, all of her living beings. Just feeling that life flow, that connection, flowing between you and every tiny seed, every little acorn, every little squirrel. This flowing energy to the beautiful deer in the pastures, to the sunflowers looking up at our beautiful sky, to the rains falling on us, recognizing that we are a beloved child of the universe. Just feeling this love and letting go of any need to know any answers, any need for perfection, loving ourselves as we are in this moment. Beautiful children of Mother Earth with pure hearts. Just feeling that wisdom in this moment of love and compassion for all. Giving thanks for Mother Earth and each one of you here. In unity, we stand together. In power and in love, compassion and strength. And just holding this energy throughout the day in our hearts. Aho.
Aho.
Thank you. Well, I see Ran is here from Washington. Thanks for joining us. Today we really want to talk about energy. And in our spirit is full of energy, but how are we nurturing our spirit, right? Are we nurturing it in a positive way? What's the self-talk that we are using to nurture? What's our environment that we're using to nurture ourselves, right? Are we in a petri dish? Now, I know Bruce Lipton talks about the petri dish, and here we are in the middle of it. And what are we surrounding ourselves with? Are we surrounding ourselves with beautiful sounds and the wisdom of the earth out in the sunlight and the rain, and feeling the majesticness of the earth? Or are we in a place that's really inhibiting our growth? It's really important to know what our environment is. Are we surrounding ourselves with positive people and people of spectacular quality? So it's something to notice. And we really believe our tagline, and we live by it: nurture your spirit, ignite your inner light. Today, I'd love to start off by talking about an experience that James had. He had a supernatural experience, and James is a virtuoso musician, so I'm excited to have him on this team. He is humble, but he has been recognized by many and people, um, many of his wise educators and professors and accomplished musicians. So it's very important, I mean, that we stand in this light. And I am a feminine empowerment coach. And when I say feminine empowerment, I'm not wanting to fight other people with power like that. It's about empowering your soul, empowering your divinity, right? And not playing small, but stepping into who you are. And at a spiritual level, what is your passion? What is the world waiting for you? The universe put you here for a reason. What is that reason? I would love to hear in the comments, what is that reason, right? So James was put on this earth as the voice of music to inspire others, and to really shine that light and to be a soft note flowing through the universe that will heal. And so tell us, James, about this. I know as a child, you've told me before that you had experiences that were very spiritual. Could you tell us a little bit about your childhood and these experiences?
Well, I grew up pretty normal as a kid, growing up. And there were some things, though, that I noticed about myself that seemed different. I was always trying to find like this secret concoction that would, help me heal people and things like that. And I didn't really understand where the energy came from, but it was there. And many years later, I've had all sorts of experiences just with my intuition, things like that. But, a lot of people have things like that. Um, Early on, I was affected really deeply by the rain. I was at a church camp when I was 12, and it was pouring rain, and I just started walking around the whole camp, and that was profound. As a result, I found that I'm a pluviophile, which means a lover of rain. And also, one time, I was in the river. It was a nice day, normal day, and then all of a sudden the clouds changed, and everything got kind of green, and I decided to climb a tree and kind of experience it a little more intensely. And about that time, there was, of course, large hailstones hitting me, and what would have been a normal day, because it was a beautiful day outside. And those are some of the things that have kind of brought me to the point where I was in the bathroom, is the experience you're talking about. I don't know how to explain it, but I was in the bathroom, and all of a sudden I just felt like something was lifting me, and it just put me against the wall. And I was on my tippy toes, which of course is incredibly painful, but I didn't feel any pain. And I wasn't stressed or worried or concerned or scared. It was just this really profound experience. I, was against the wall like that probably for, I don't know, 30 or 45 seconds or somewhere around there. And it really had a deep impact on me, because it was, kind of gave me this feeling like something was, or somebody was trying to get me to pass through a wall, maybe in my own life, because it was literally trying to pull me through the wall. And I was just kind of there. And, after a little while, I just told myself that, I can't just stay here the whole time. I got to get down. And it was interesting. It was very interesting. And I tried to replicate it later. And I tried to get up on my tippy toes like that, and like I said, it was incredibly painful. So I don't know. I'm still wondering about the whole experience. Probably always will be.
So I guess you tried to get up on your tippy toes to see if it was really what happened. I know sometimes we might question these experiences. Was that real, or was that something, did I just stand up on my tippy toes by myself? But it sounds like that was validating to you that this was uh, a powerful experience.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. I couldn't do it again if I tried.
Well, I don't think you did it. That's the whole point, right? Something lifted you up. So, and that's very interesting about coming through the wall. Passing through a phase of life. Perhaps that might have been what was being said, right? It's time for you to move to a greater part of your life, as we look at it metaphorically. So, and you know, that's really kind of what's happened in your life, James, with being a musician and a percussionist. And now you're really focused on sound journeys. And so that is a passing through another area of your life. Because as a musician, being very organized, and there's my brother in the background. No matter what I do these videos, I can't seem to get him out of the picture. But anyway, so now I've lost my train of thought. Well, okay, as being a musician that's very organized with structure and having to really be on point with the notes, these sound journeys are a whole different ball game. Could you tell us a little about that and about your experience and being a musician and having to change your ways of thinking and growth?
Yeah, it's actually kind of fascinating. At first, you try to play a rhythm or maybe a melodic fragment or something like that, the way you would typically. But then all of a sudden you realize you just grabbed everybody's ear and now they're focused on this journey of this melody and what am I going to do with it? The whole point in the sound journey is they just want to relax and meditate, and I just bring them sounds. It's sort of like a palette of sound and color. It's different for each person. I'm not trying to play necessarily a specific melody or anything like that, or even a rhythm. It's really just a feel. And I love that because for me, I can really experience my instruments in a way that I can't normally because, I've got all these beautiful cymbals and, it's fun to play them and, with a band or whatever, but you can't really hear them until you're doing something like this and playing the cymbals with marimba mounts and stuff like that. There's no crashing cymbals or anything to make people jump or anything like that in the sound journeys. Really soft mallets.
Right, and what I love about your sound journeys are they're very different for one thing. I mean, you do have singing bowls, but you also have these beautiful cymbals that a lot of people don't have. So if you have one there, please show us. Also, what I love also about your sound, well, I help you with the sound journeys, but is the fact that they're centered about on the rain and the way that you create that rainstorm at the end, kind of like escalating a little bit and then bringing it down to peace through the use of these beautiful symbols and rain stick and the ocean drum, the koshi chimes. So all of those are very beautifully played together. And so many people tell me that they've fallen asleep during the sound journeys. And we've got a beautiful little following that we just started. So I love it. It's wonderful.
Excellent. And if somebody falls asleep during my sound journeys, it's actually a high compliment because that means I completely relax them, or they're just really tired. But as long as they're completely relaxed, then the purpose has been served. And it's a really fun thing for me to do because I'm playing these cymbals and, I'm not doing anything jarring or loud. And, you were talking about the rainstorm. I always do create a windstorm and a rainstorm typically and have the river sound going, on my speaker, which is the only canned sound that I use. It's the river sound, but I love it. Here's one of my cymbals.
James, can you do it a little more quiet, please?
Actually, I was about to mention that. I'm not really sure how loud it is on that end, and I was just thinking that was a little bit loud. Maybe it's picking up. See, the thing is with these microphones on the webcam, you can pick up loud sounds, percussive sounds, typically like shakers or something like that real easily. But then other things just sort of get lost in the mix, and there's really no way to know if it worked.
Right. Well, I can only tell you what I hear.
Sorry, what?
I'm only able to tell you from my side. I'm not sure about everyone else, but this is cellular healing. This is scientifically proven the power of sounds to heal our body. Well, thank you for showing us that beautiful symbol, James. And I see the ocean drum back there, which is another. And I see James is a very big fan of cats.
I'm very what?
Big fan of cats.
I can't hear you. This thing started speaking.
That's
This is
okay.
the ocean drum. It's pretty loud, so I know this is speaking.
Right. Well, thank you for sharing those. Yes, and I think that the experience of a sound journey, it's really hard to describe unless you have it. And I think that Rand might be does sound journeys also, but let me know if you do. Uh, and I love the holistic healing. So if you're a holistic healer watching this, please let me know. And if there's too much background noise, let me know. Um, James has a singing bowl, but it's too close to the screen. If you can pull it back a little bit, maybe it will. Yeah, go
Not,
ahead.
this is one of those things that I wasn't sure about whether or not people would be able to hear it because it's really a delicate tone. And the vibrations of this in my hand is just tingly and kind of a warm feeling. Very healing.
I can barely hear it. And you will let us know if y'all can hear the singing bowl. And let us know also if you're a facilitator of sound journeys or if you've been to sound journeys or anything like this. We also do laughter yoga. So laughter yoga, so as an adult, how many times a day, put in the comments how many times a day you think an adult laughs compared to how many times in a day children laugh. And laughter is part of our well-being. When we smile, our bodies release chemicals to calm us down. So just smiling calms. So that's something to remember, right? And our bodies follow our expressions, right? When we sit up powerfully, our bodies follow suit. When we sit low like this, we start to feel tired and depressed. So our bodies are always listening. And so that's what's so important to know about the power we have. And this is holistic healing here. Smiling, boom, chemicals are released to calm. Laughing, that's scientifically proven for healing. Laughing brings us together. When we laugh with others, we feel connected. So these are wonderful techniques to use for bonding and building connections with others for healing when we feel sad. Another thing that is so important is to get back in touch with Mother Earth. James said as a small child, he would go to the rivers and sit up in the trees. Can you tell us about that, James?
Well, I was a little older than a small child when I was up in the trees playing the recorder in the rain sometimes. I've had many experiences, hundreds and hundreds and hundreds. I've been to the river so many times. It's my kind of like my church, my sacred ground is the river. The river. There's a place near my house where I can walk across, because it's only about a foot deep, 2 feet deep, and there's huge boulders, and it's just a beautiful place. And that's been one of the most inspirational places in my life. I even take instruments down there, and as a percussionist, I can play on the trees that are falling down. I can play on the rocks, and when you use some tubes, you hit the water. It sounds like kind of like a crash cymbal, and then you dip it into the water. And it's really this interesting sound. There's all sorts of things, but I've always gone to the river. It's always been the most important place for me. And during the sound journeys that I do, that's actually the only canned sound that I do. Is I have a river sound going in the background, very lightly. Some people don't even notice. Some people are like wondering if they just hear it in their head. because it's very, very faint, and then the whole sound journey happens, and then when it stops, that rain sound is, not the rain sound, the river sound is still there. What else did you ask?
I'm not sure, but I loved what you were saying about using nature as percussion instruments. So that's beautiful.
That is one joy of being a percussionist. It's the oldest instrument in the history of the world. Is, people hitting rocks and things like that. The flute was the second oldest.
Oh, that's very interesting. So I was asking you to tell us the story about being in the trees and playing.
Well, there's some things that I might not mention about the story, but I remember many, many times being up in a tree. I learned my sense of balance down there when I was in my early 20s. And so I could stand up at the top of a tree on one foot with my eyes shut, play the recorder, even in the rain or something, many times actually. But so it's always, like I said, it's always been a source of inspiration to me. And, I never fell, never got hurt or anything like that. I've been climbing trees there since I was a little kid, but never with a recorder in my hand. And that's what I'm talking about, playing up there as a recorder. And sometimes it was really entertaining because there was always some people in boats going by and kayaks and things like that. Many times. But sometimes they'd hear the music and they'd be looking around everywhere. They'd be like, where's it coming from? Where's it coming from? Oh, I don't know. And they never bothered to look up because there I was. I love that. I love doing that. Other than that, I'm just simply enchanting the forest.
Could you repeat that?
I said, other than that, I'm just enchanting the forest with my flute.
Beautiful. Very true.
I hear little Louie back there.
No, that's not Louie, but Louie is asleep. But I love what Rand is saying. I'm a certified international laughter yoga teacher, leader. Even smiling, yes, stimulates our happy hormones. So it also balances our vagus nerve, which affects our entire body. Yes, you're right. I love that what you're saying. So everything is connected. Everything is connected. Sometimes when we're ill or we have an illness, we think, well, we have an illness here, maybe my arm is sore, but everything in our body is affected, right? It's not that we can separate any one part of our body from another. So exactly what you're saying. And in that aspect, we are connected to Mother Earth in the same beingness. There's nothing that we do that is not separate from Mother Earth. Everything we do is connected to Mother Earth and to all of her living beings. Everything has a repercussion, a ripple effect, right? The laughter has a ripple effect on every cell in my body, and that ripples out to Mother Earth and to all of her living beings. So when we have this disconnection from Mother Earth, nature deficit disorder, we really suffer. So it's back to us getting back grounded and in Mother Earth, earthing, touching our feet to the ground, touching the trees, being in the sun, right? I think there's the movie Earthing, I think is where they talk about a young man, and he went into his Native American mother's home. So I don't think mother from birth, but she said, something about like, what are you doing wearing those shoes? They'll make you sick. Which I thought, wow, that is so profound, right? So I'm not quoting it exactly right, but that's basically the impact that she said is like the shoes, we are disconnecting from our mother. We have to touch her, and we are hurting from this disconnection from Mother Earth. And this disconnection is causing us to poison her. It's causing us to behave with disrespect to her. And so that's so important for me to get this word out, and for James too, as Harmonic Earth Healers, is to teach people about Mother Earth, to teach them that we are the solution. We can't wait for anyone else to do it. And there can't be any excuses. We don't have to do everything, but we need to do something, right? And when we're feeling down, to go hug a tree, go out in the sunshine, right? There's the healing power. That changes, again, just like the sound baths, just like the laughter yoga, that changes our physical being, right? Within minutes, our cells start to respond to feeling Mother Earth, our connectedness to her, because that electrical impulse is coming from her into our bodies, right? We're electric beings. We're filled with water. We need her. And so it's very important that we honor her. And that's what Harmonic Earth Healers is about, right? And also, so as a feminine empowerment coach, recognizing that light in ourselves, that light that is waiting to shine, and to know what are we saying to ourselves, right? What is our self-talk, and how can that be shifted to be in alignment with our well-being, our blossoming for ourselves and for each other, for Mother Earth. When one of us shines, we all shine. When one of us hurts, we all hurt. And I'm
That's
talking
very
about,
true. I was going to say that's very true. Everybody basically is, serving their own purpose, of course, on the earth, but we all need everybody to really keep it from just getting just downtrodden and destroyed. Really, we all need to contribute and help other people understand that the planet is in danger. Talk about Mariquita. Talk about the 5 years. If you
well,
want.
in 2 years, we're going to, I mean, we've already passed some things that can't be reversed. But in 2 years, our planet's going to really step into this time of irreversible damage. And so I recently got my climate healer certification. Um, how much of the biomass would you say is left for wild animals right now of our total biomass um, of land? Is how much of it is being taken up by wild animals? I mean, that just makes me sick. So I'd love to hear in the comments what you think. Um, and here's another question I'd love to hear comments of if we were able to all go to a plant-based diet, how much territory would we could use to regenerate Mother Earth, that we could turn into trees, and this would stop this climate crisis that we have. So would it be the size of Arizona, the size of Antarctica, the size of Florida? What do you think the size of that would be? So the first answer is, what percentage of space is taken up by our wild animals on Mother Earth? And that's very sadly, a 4%. Our wild animals are only have 4% of the world's land mass, which is so sad. So being cognizant about who we're voting for and what action we're taking is very important. So I don't want to go into politics, but I want to say that that's very important to research, right? I just heard recently about someone here in Georgia shooting a bunch of pigeons for entertainment. And it's
That's terrible. That is
sick.
sick for entertainment. Did they
Yeah,
put him? Did they put him in jail for animal cruelty, or what
well,
happened?
that's now going on. Georgia Animal Rights and Protection is really, I got the email from them last night, so we're going to be um, following up. I'll forward it to you. But we all have to take action, right? So that whether that means making a call, sending an email, all of it counts. Everything we do counts. We can't say nothing that I'm not, that what I do doesn't matter. It does matter. And I think, I don't remember what else I was going to say. Oh, yeah, so 4% of the Earth's land is taken up by wild animals, which is so small. And then if we were to stop, yeah, let me say this real quick before you do the rain stick, please. Just give me 1 second. If we were to change to a plant-based diet, the amount of land that could be regenerated would be the size of Africa. And that's a huge amount of land. All that could go back to regrowth, and it would stop this climate catastrophe that we're in now. We have almost half of our land is taken up by agriculture and by animal agriculture. So agriculture, I mean, we have got to take that land back to heal Mother Earth. Okay, so that's my little speech about climate healing. And if you'd like to know more, I'd love for you to check out Climate Healers. Um, and they're having a VCOP this weekend. It's a 2-day thing. I should have put that in the comments.
What was the site again? What was the site?
Climate Healers. Let me pull it up for you.
.com or .org or?
I think, let me check. I don't want to say it wrong. But they're having a 2-day event, and you have to register for it in advance. So that is this weekend. They're going to have all sorts of great speakers, and I encourage you to go to that. But I'm going to put this in the comments, and you'll go to VCOP to see it. And now, James, go ahead with the rain stick.
Most of you have seen a rain stick, of course, and heard one. So this is one of the sounds that you'll hear in the sound journeys. And this particular one came from Chile, or Chile. I'm not sure how you really pronounce it. Down in South America.
It's very peaceful when you're laying down and hearing the ocean drum and the rain stick. And so those are very calming. And then even have this space of quiet.
Never any specific rhythm. It's always just sort of an echo or sort of just kind of like a color that just shines through. I like these little shakers too.
So the wonderful thing about James is being a musician since he was a tiny little child. He has all sorts of instruments. He has, and the little frogs. I don't know if you have the frogs there, but he has the koshi chimes.
Not gonna play the rhythm, just kidding.
And Randy's saying, I and my family are plant-based whole food eaters. Wonderful. That's the way to heal the earth, heal our bodies. And is that one water?
Yes.
Okay, so when I say that, there's 4 koshi chimes. And there's fire, water, air, and is it earth?
Yes.
Okay, so that one is water. I love those. I could sleep to that. So if you're in the Atlanta area, we would love to, invite you to the Sound Journeys. We have our website, which was up earlier. But and if you're interested in any of these other things, then please hit subscribe to our YouTube, because normally, there's no normal here. We are. I have different guests, and Rand, if you want to be a guest on here, I would love to have you. If
Please.
Anybody's watching, every week I'm doing different guests and
certified
sometimes
international.
we jump on and talk. But I love doing this, and I'm also actually, y'all might be interested in this. I don't think I mentioned it, but at 1 o'clock Eastern Standard Time, I'm going to be going live with Jonathan Balcom on allcreatures.org because I do their live streams for them also. So all-creatures.org. It's on YouTube. Jonathan Balcom, who wrote um, What a Fish. Now I'm not knowing if it wasn't fish knows or what a fish thinks now. Let me look. I got it right here. Um, he's a biologist and also an author. What a Fish Knows, a New York Times bestseller. And that's going to be super exciting. I can't wait to learn and talk to him. Um, so that's at 1 o'clock on, again, allcreatures.org channel. So maybe I can get him on this channel. So also, please send me people that would be great guests. If you're watching and you know someone, um, let me know who they are because this is all about connection with Mother Earth and grounding and stepping into the potential, unlimited potential of who you are. And when you're eating these plant-based, I'm going to put Randy's comment up again, these whole food plant-based, nurturing, life-giving sources of food, your body changes. So here's one thing I'd like to address. So my friend JJ and I were talking last night about when you first, JJ has a great channel, Vegan Knowledge, and I encourage you to subscribe to that. When you first switch off of animal-based foods, you might feel bad. People say, well, I felt bad, right? I couldn't do it. Well, that's normal because you're detoxing. You're detoxing. Your body's putting out, getting rid of all that waste, right? And so also, when you're not used to eating a lot of vegetables, a lot of Mother Earth's natural foods, your microbiome it's not ready for it because your microbiome is your gut, and it's made up of all these little organisms, right? But if you're used to eating something that is not a living food, your microbiome is also going to have to adjust. So you might think these foods don't agree with me. Well, you have to take it slowly and perhaps only eat 2 or 3 beans or a teaspoon of beans a day to build up, right? To let your microbiome get used to it. And this is the way to heal diseases, right? We can turn around and prevent these diseases that are debilitating and killing us. This is not what Mother Earth didn't mean for us to eat a bunch of processed junk. She gave us living foods that heal and that won't cause disease. So there's another rant of mine, and I could talk about that all day. I got the certification in plant-based nutrition, which I love from eCornell. I would encourage you all, if you want to know more about it, there's a great scholarship where they have grants for it. So I would definitely check that out. So, all right, that's enough about the wonderful living foods. Well, you can never say enough about that. But so we've covered sound journeys, a little bit about feminine empowerment coaching. That's about, I will say a little bit about limiting beliefs that hold us back, the shame that we learn as children, right? The guilt, maybe the guilt of a pet that's passed. How can we move past that? By loving, by compassion, by empathy, right? These things that are hurting us, that people don't care about us. These are all limiting beliefs that we're not enough. And that's what I deal with in feminine empowerment, right? With compassion. So sound journey, this, and Reiki. What is Reiki? I think you're muted, James.
Reiki is that energy that I've tapped into that I was alluding to a little while ago. As far back as 6 years old, I didn't know there was a name for it, and it just always came natural to me. And then when I started going to Unity, I learned more about it, and here we are. It's a beautiful way of offering your energy to someone. It's not some miracle cure or anything like that. It's literally just transferring energy of healing.
Right. And so what do you mean by like when you were 6 years old? What do you mean by you experienced it then?
I just remember having little experiences where I was just trying to heal, like an injured animal or an injured bug or something. I'm not sure, but I've always felt that I had something that I just didn't understand yet.
So you were tapping. So Reiki is tapping into that life force energy, right? And so we're not doing the healing. It's that energy that we ask to do the healing. It's a very loving energy that we're calling upon. So
Right.
I see you as a little child of really tapping into this universal inner life force energy and bringing that down. Just being that you're the conduit of the energy. So to those little bugs and insects and other little creatures that you might have had as a child. So
Yeah,
that's beautiful.
I can't to this day I can't kill even an insect or a bug or just anything. I just can't kill anything that's alive basically because it's something that's taken billions and trillions of years for that particular bug to even exist. Just the same way with me. So I don't know. I killed bugs when I was a little kid quite a bit. And I've always felt guilty about it. So I don't do it anymore. What was I going to say? There was something else you had asked.
Well, I don't know, but I'd like to hear about your experience with a horse.
Oh, all right. We were talking about a lady at the church that gave us the phone number, I guess, of this person that wanted her horse to have Reiki healing and some energy. And I thought about it for a little while, and I'm thinking, okay, if I learn this and this and this and this and this about a horse, maybe I'll feel more comfortable. I need to learn all about horses. What are they thinking? What are they doing? How do they, all that stuff was going through my head. And then I finally realized that all I had to do was just nothing except go. So I didn't learn anything about a horse. So I didn't feel like I was in any danger. I was in front of this beautiful horse, and after maybe 20 minutes or something, or a half an hour at the most, I was able to move her head back and forth with one finger, and I rest my head against her head and just kind of meditated there for a minute or two, and she was really receptive. And the person that owns the horse was very, very, very happy about it, and I would love to do it again. It's actually just a beautiful experience. So
That was a,
if you ever get the chance to do Reiki on a horse, by all means go.
well, I remember watching. It was a very quiet experience, and it was a very divine experience. And and this is exactly what feminine power coaching, empowerment coaching is. It's not about thinking, right? And Reiki is not about thinking. I have to think about what am I going to do, what am I going to do. Reiki and this intuitive energy is about feeling, connecting with that greater power in the universe, right? Connecting with that greater power in the universe that is connected to us in every cell of our body. That's what it is, right? When we can connect to that, um, that is when we are powerful. But when we play small, and that's what's debilitating, is playing small. And we really, of course, we want to do everything we can and not to play small. I was going to see if I was able to find that beautiful picture, but I don't know if I can right now, but maybe I can. But anyway, that that is what we really encourage everyone. And I remember when they were talking about Reiki, they were saying that we do Reiki on ourselves all the time. That when we hurt, like I fell, I mean, not fell, but something hit my leg the other day. I don't even know what it was. And I immediately started rubbing my head my leg, wherever I hit. I started rubbing my hands together, but it's like, and then rubbing that part of me that was hurting, right? And that is Reiki, right? Trying to pull the energy to that part of you that's hurting. So anyway, so Reiki oftentimes is misinterpreted. Um, so anyway, I found the picture, James. Let's see if I can find it.
Oh my
Okay.
God, sorry, I was muted. But um, what you were saying about doing Reiki on yourself is very profound to some people. They just don't think about it. But basically, you're just using your own energy to heal, and somebody would definitely benefit from it. If they tried it, lots of people, everybody, I guess.
Right,
Which
everyone.
which photograph were you looking for?
I found it. It doesn't have to be complicated. So I'm going to see if I can share the screen somehow here. I mean, it's just a very pretty photo. Okay. Select window or screen. There we go. Can you all see it? Can
I
you see it,
wasn't.
James?
Yes, I wasn't sure what picture you were looking for, but yes, there's that moment where we had our heads meet. Beautiful horse.
It was very, very beautiful and profound. It was a very quiet moment. So, um, let's see here.
Back to what you were talking about a little while ago. You sort of alluded to grounding. I think it was the Earthling movie. I think that's where it came from when you started talking about it. Tell people about staying grounded and how forest bathing can help with that.
Oh, that was what I was going to talk about. We hadn't covered forest bathing. Okay. So, what is forest bathing? So, it's not just strolling through the forest. Forest bathing is like a mindful meditate. It's not like it is a mindful meditative experience and was developed in Japan. And this is what is prescribed by doctors in Japan for people that are stressed and overworked. And that's a culture really where there's a lot of intensity. So, um, so forest bathing is going outside and I would say, I mean, for my forest bathing experiences, when I lead them as a facilitator, um, to just really ground again with a meditation, honoring the forest and allowing whatever to be to to flow. Right, we're in the forest now. We sit in this beautiful space with trees and all of the birds and all of the wind, everything. We allow what will be something greater, right? And so I had a wonderful experience with a tree. We went to Just Love Forest, which is in Poetry, Georgia, which is close to Rome, Georgia, and we were guided by Bala, who is the steward of Just Love Forest, and so I went and he said, "Okay, we're going to have some different experiences here. I want you to go to a tree, and I want you to be vulnerable with that tree. I want you to share your vulnerabilities with that tree and to feel and hear and listen to what that tree is saying back." So I found this beautiful elderly tree. So I wasn't sure whether you would say the tree is still alive. What I knew was there was a life in the tree. And what she told me, and what I felt was her scars, her wounds, and her experiences of life. And I shared with her my similar wounds, and I thanked her for being with me. But it's also very important to ask, may I be with you, to the tree or to the other living being, to the being that you're going to have an experience with, and to listen. So she was leaning up against another tree, and I saw her friend, this other tree, and I felt the beauty of that, of these two trees and me. And then I felt this profound realization that we are all connected, that all of our root systems were connected. So it's beautiful. Um, and this is what forest bathing is. And the Japanese term is Shinrin Yoku. And if you have a chance to go forest bathing, if you've never done it, and that I really encourage you to do, because it's very profound. I had a wonderful experience with an elderly rock, and I saw all the little beings that lived on the rock. And, and just, I mean, that is such a more expansive view of our typical day that we go through day to day.
It really is. It really, really is. There's so many people in the world that probably couldn't even describe the texture of certain trees, or much less a rock full of moss, or maybe a creek, and just they never get out in nature, and it's a beautiful way to sort of get in touch with yourself, out in nature, literally.
It really is. You're right. That don't even that haven't touched a leaf, haven't touched a tree in years, right? So I mean, it's just a magnification of your senses. So, and here's well, James was asking Randy, um, how does vibration affect the vagus nerve in your experience? And so here is the answer that I've learned from Ayurveda. Ayurveda, that's a tongue twister for me. But I don't really know that much about it, but I know a little bit. So very interesting because when I took Main Street Vegan courses with Victoria Moran, I learned a lot. I
And
learned a type of it.
here's one of my favorite pieces of copper right here, which of course came from the people that started Ayurveda or discovered it, or however you want to look at it.
A hammered water
Yeah,
bottle.
yeah. The copper seeps into the water, and the water has the healing properties. That's what they say. Either way, I like the bottle.
Well, let's get back to the answer here. So everything has a vibration, and I'm aware of vibrations. I can use it to heal if it is a healing one. Yes, that is very true. I love that, and that's expansiveness and awareness on a deeper level, right? It doesn't have to be anything complicated, right? This getting back to nature. Nature is simple and quiet and sacred. How do we get back to that? So this is, I see we're coming to the end of our time, and it's been really wonderful talking, and I feel very inspired about this awareness, of this awakening of people that might not have been knowing, really realizing the power that they have, and just these discoveries and revisiting these experiences that James has had, like as a child, and realizing his energy to help others heal, um, and throughout his life, and the support that Mother Earth has for us is a blessing. And so, is there anything else you wanted to say, James? I mean, before we end our beautiful live stream, please subscribe.
I was hoping that that person would explain I don't know how to pronounce it even. Ayurveda. Um,
You mean Randy?
yeah, I read a little bit about it once. I don't really know much about it. I just know that all these copper water bottles are contributing to it. But anyway, I asked in the comments if Randy is still here. Maybe the person will explain it all. Other than that, as far as concluding thoughts, I want all of you to just literally spend 5 minutes, an hour, 6 hours, or whatever it takes. Spend some time in nature today, just outside, even if it's the backyard. Go touch a tree.
Right. And when you really hug a tree, you'll feel their power. So this is wonderful. So I'm really thankful that everybody's been watching. And if you have any more questions or comments, here's Randy's answer. Um, just also reach out to us at, I'm trying to say climate healers, harmonicearthhealers.com. I love that. Ayurveda is over 5,000 years old. It means the science of life. I'm an instructor in it too. You know, one thing that I did learn, it seemed, and then I feel like this was in one of the classes that Victoria Moran taught, was about, well, it was about the eating all the different foods, but making sure that, you're eating the salty and the sweet and all of it. Well, one thing, I mean, the different combinations. She also said it's very important to scrape our tongues. So I
One
learned a
of
lot.
these, one of these copper bottles that I got came with a tongue scraper. I haven't tried it yet, but I had it in my hand about 5 minutes ago. That's so funny. I was scooting it over. I was gonna take it out and try it. Came with,
Wonderful.
came with one of these bottles, like I said, but I'm not sure what it's supposed to do that a toothbrush doesn't do. But I'm gonna find out.
Well, Victoria Moran would be proud to hear that. Sour, sweet, bitter, pungent, and astringent. See, I knew I did learn something. Y'all, there's so much to learn. It's very exciting. So, um, all right. Well, we got to wrap this up. I've got to take a little break between live streams. So thank you so much, Randy and James. Well, thank you, James, for this. And I hope that you all hold this amazing light and just really tune into who you are, knowing that all of Mother Earth is supporting you and that you are a child of divinity, that every cell in your body is beauty. All right, so nourish your spirit, ignite your inner light, and we'll see you again soon. Bye, everybody. Bye, James.
Bye bye.
Thank you all for watching.